Hi everyone, this is Jason Zach from Nathaniel School of Music. In this piano lesson, we are going to learn the Wednesday theme composed by the great Danny Elfman. The original music has a variety of orchestration ranging from the harpsichord to drums to horn sections, string sections, wind sections, and great bass. I've just tried to transcribe as much as I can and put it together on the piano in a way I thought was humanly possible, at least, or in a way in which I enjoyed. So I hope you like my arrangement, and I'm sure you like the show. It's a very famous show. It's always on Netflix, #1, and it stays for weeks and months. So I'm sure you know this. So get your pianos out and let's start learning it. I'm going to teach it to you phrase by phrase, and there are totally about 29 to 30 bars that you have to learn. So we'll just do it in bits and pieces, and right hand as well as left hand. And as we go along, I will also tell you the theoretical concepts used by the composer to generate the emotion that is there in the theme. And most of these ingredients, you'll find them scattered through the episodes as you watch them. And Danny Elfman, as a composer, uses a lot of minor diminished chords, but he's also a very clever rhythmic writer. So there are a lot of rhythmic ingredients like dotted notes. Time feels change from triplets to a dotted feel all of a sudden, and great bass. So before we get started, it'll be nice if you can consider hitting that subscribe button and turn on the bell for regular notifications. Let's get cracking. So first off, let's do the intro. So we go that same ta-da-da-da, the Addams Family vibe, I guess, ta-da-da-da. But what he does is pum 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 pum. So there's an E minor chord bass, and then it immediately shifts into an E minor with a flat 5 and an add 2. So it's basically a toggling minor third system. Now you can also do just the exclusive minor thirds, but what I like to do is combine it with the melody. So, and hold down your pedal for effect. And the other reason we need the pedal is because of the left hand. While this is happening, the left hand goes lower octave E and come up and play the first inversion of E minor. And then go to the really low E, lowest possible E, again octave. So bringing in the bass with octaves alongside the, it goes E minor. So root with the octave, hold your pedal, jump up and play the chord G, B, E, E minor, then the gong effect, really low E, the lowest possible, and then you can play the root position of E minor. Just for variety. And if possible, keep your pinky holding that E at all times. That'll be a good exercise for finger independence too. So whole thing. That's the intro. So you do this twice. Little slowly. Okay, now let's get into the cello part. Bum ba bum ba bum ba 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 ba. So let's get that. So the melody continues as, but let's start with the bass in this case. Bum ba bum ba bum, dotted and then a semiquaver. Tak ta tak ta tak ta tak ta ta. Get my fingering. I'm primarily using these three fingers. Bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum 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 ba 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 da. The tricky part about this bass line is it's not at all predictable. So bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum. That would be very predictable, but it goes bum ba dum ba bum ba da. Pa, ni, sa. So it's a jump there. There's no sixth degree. Bum, pa, bum, pa, bum, pa, bum, pa, ra, 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 pa, ba, pa, ba. So pa, re, pa, ra, pa, ra, pa, ra. So F sharp G, D sharp E, B flat B, D sharp E, or E flat E, pa, ba. And then let's do it till there. So this is essentially bar number 6 going into bar number 7, basically 2 bars of action going on. It's literally just 2 bars. So parabaram papum 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 papum, all with the dotted following a semiquaver. Tak 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 tak. Okay, get it together. And I kind of do this motion with the wrist, which helps me find the notes better and get the navigation system in play. While this is happening, you need to kind of forget the left hand. So the right hand used to go. Now it's a bit easier. That's the first bar. Let's do that. And then so it's E flat minor, but sliding to E minor with pretty much all the inversions in a descending fashion. See, this is still E flat minor sliding to E minor. Ba 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 ba. So that's the pattern. Okay, with the bass. And then goes to G minor. So to align it, at the E's you collide. Bum 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 da da ba 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 ba. Let's do that again. And then it goes to the G minor section. And to create the tension, the bass stays its ground G, but plays 2 chords, the second being a slash chord. G minor. So that's E flat major with a G, with a tension note D there. So it creates a tension there. Repeat. And your left hand has to go either the lowest G, or what I like to do is just this G and then going up, because we can save the lows for the later part of the arrangement. This is where that howling theremin kind of sound comes in. So let's get that. What we are doing is bar 8 and bar 9. And then it goes into a very beautiful section with a lot of slash chords and very disconnected. You're almost out of the scale. If you thought you were on E minor, well, we lost E minor after the first 4 or 5 bars. So anyway, so this section, again, a very catchy bass line. Pum, 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 and proper triplets come into play. So first off we did those are stat, tatak, tatak, tatak. Now we go into a triplet section. Takita, 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 takita. 1 triplet, 2 triplet. So pum, pa bum, pum, pum, pa bum, pum, 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 pa bum, pa bum, pum, pa da. So a lot of jumps in the bass line. There's nothing linear about it. So let me play that part by part. So first off, the D over F sharp chord. And what I have arranged on top is just to have this cascading piano arpeggio line. It'll sound good on piano. So nice little chord inversion exercise as well for you. D major played as out in notes, middle note, low note, and then you follow that for the whole arpeggio set. Pum 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 pum. Just to thicken the hit. And then of course you can kind of do that with the other chords. Okay, so we'll come to that. So over the D over F sharp. While that happens, the bass goes pum 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 pum. Repeat. Okay, and then we go to the D minor section. Pum pum para para. Repeat. Pum pum para. Bass goes a jump there. Dum da 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 da. Let's do that with a D minor. That's a D minor with a. Okay, and then we are waiting to go to F sharp minor, starting with the A on top. Do that again. Let's do the D over F sharp and D minor together, the two bars. Okay, and then coming to the F sharp minor chord. Okay, goes to a C sharp minor after that. So how he plays it is tan tan ta da, huge jump there. Ta tum pa da. It's almost like this Wednesday theme song, the lead actor usually on the piano ends up being the right hand and the melody hand. In this particular song, till you, I think for the entire series, you'll find it's all these bass instruments, especially the cello, which is what Wednesday plays in the show, right? So coming back to the F sharp chord. Let's do that. Pa tum pa dum pam. Repeat. You can use the pedal for more effect, but lift it between chords. Last chord. Okay. Okay, and then it ends with a B minor in spread shape. That's what I've arranged so that your hands come together. So let's do that. I do a flam there and D minor. So let's do the 4 triplet bars together and tail off to the B minor. And now let's do the B minor to D minor section, which is basically bar number 14. And now 15. Okay. So that's a D minor in this shape, and then you come back to the lower D. Okay. Repeat. Okay, and then goes to this complete scale change. It goes to G sharp minor via a chromatic G minor sliding to G sharp minor. So a lot of the ornaments happening with the harmony are these chromatic movements between chords, and also the chords are not related very well with each other. Okay, so now that takes us to the G sharp minor section. I've run out of words to explain each section, so yeah, this is not a traditional verse chorus bridge song, as you can see. So it goes pum pa pa pum pa pa pum pa pa pum. So now the drums come in, so I figured, how do you entertain the drums on the piano? So I have this arpeggio going for you. So start off with the drone, G sharp. So this pattern essentially G sharp minor. So I'll play the whole section and then teach. That's part of the original. That's a quick triple. Chromatic, almost. Okay, whole thing. Two, three. Whole thing again. Count always while you play. Okay, and then we go back to a bass cello solo, if you will. This is my favorite part of the Wednesday theme because it starts with a triplet ascend, then goes to a semi-quaver feel. So this is the genius of Danny Elfman. And there are different instruments doing it, so I arranged it like this on the piano. First single notes. To divide by 3 first. Okay, and then it goes to the ending, which is very easy. The right hand is pretty easy, fortunately, I guess. So that's G sharp minor going to E minor. Beautiful chords to connect with each other. How on earth do they work? Well, if you think about it, G sharp minor and E minor have no scale in common, at least that I know of, but they have B in common. So G sharp minor has B, E minor has B. So we've done a separate video where I've talked about chord trees. You should definitely follow that chapter, and you should also follow my videos on interesting chord progressions and how to come up with the movie theme like chord progressions. So very influenced by Danny Elfman, of course. Repeat. Repeat. And then we get into our ending part. Pa, pa. Let's do that piece. So G minor, E flat, D over F sharp, F minor. Break it down. D, B flat, cha, ra, ra. So it leads to the next chord. Da, da, da. E flat. And you have this pa-pum chords now that I've just added in to add to the intensity. And the right hand does a nice broken feel there. So whole thing, putting it together slowly. G minor, E flat major, D over F sharp, F minor, where I do that broken thing on F minor. Okay, and now we come to the almost end, like 2 bars before the end, you could say. That'll be bar number 24, 25, and the time signature keeps changing. It'll go from 3-4 to 4-4 without you even knowing it in this song. So check out the score. It's available on our Patreon. So you just go A minor, pa bum, pa bum, pa bum, pa bum, pa. So that's pretty easy. Pa bum, pa bum, pa da, pa da, ba. Now what I play it with octaves, you can even play it with single notes. You can do that, or single notes. And you're ending on that D minor, so A minor, pa bum, E major. Again, brilliant bass. A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, G sharp. Repeat. And the ending. So let's break that down. D minor, B flat, A. So D minor, B flat, A over a 3/4. Time signature comes back to 3/4 in the end. It just keeps changing. So Right hand is the same pattern I showed you earlier for the other minor chords. This is on D minor. Same thing on B flat. And A major. You can end with this minor second that is there in the song. So whole story in the right hand. B flat. A major. Okay, and what does the left hand do? It's very simple this time. You take a D, jump up to the higher D minor chord in first inversion. B flat, jump up to second inversion of B flat major. And now A. Get some tension going and kind of slow down. And bring in that polyrhythm there. Takita takka takka takka. So to get that tension, you make it louder. You bring in the 2/3 polyrhythm feel, basically quavers in the left hand and triplets in the right hand. That's all there in the original. So hopefully this whole tutorial, if you're not able to play it entirely, hopefully you at least enjoy or appreciate the song a lot more, which is another reason why I did this lesson, to show you the brilliance of Danny Elfman, how he can just in 1 minute give you almost an album or two worth of musical content. There's so much of intensity in just 1 minute of composition. It's incredible. So you should definitely listen to the entire Wednesday theme and the Wednesday music playlist. You'll find it on Spotify or wherever, and watch the show. Right, so hope you found the lesson useful. The notation is waiting for you on our Patreon page. If you're not the greatest reader, myself included, you can use the MIDI files that we have prepared for you, and you can import that and look at the notes in any one of those apps out there. And you'll also get my handwritten notes to get some cheat codes in order to play this composition a little bit better. And you can always simplify my arrangement and get by the whole piece of music, as I told you throughout. You don't have to do octaves all the time. You can make it your own. And don't forget to send me a recording. It'll be fun if you can tag me on our Instagram channel, either the school account or my account, and send me your performance of it. That'll be a lot of fun to check out. Okay, thanks a ton. Cheers.